All right, welcome back to Bond SCX. This is week 35, August 29th, September 2nd. This is Lance, the Bargain Stock Bounty Hunter, back at you again with another video and another plays of the week. I've got my special guest Daz joining me today, and we're going to make some good call outs and try to give you guys the best price points for this week. Disclaimer before we get started, I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I advising anyone to spend their money. This is only for educational purposes and only my opinion. Any money spent is at the individual's own discretion and not due to any information from me. So before we get started, this is the scan that I use to actually do an X marks the spot, kind of give me a guideline to where to go look on the charts. And so I pull true value, pull trend, and I pull some other data that helps me break down stocks. And so before we get started, let's go to the charts to look at the NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange. So it's always good to start off with looking with the market, some of the indexes overall that a lot of the stocks trade on. Kind of gives us a better picture of what direction the stock price might go in based on some projections on the NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange, for example. So we're going to start off with the NASDAQ. And so looking at the NASDAQ, you can see last week, definitely called out the stock would be somewhere around the 12.6 range to the 12.8. See Friday saw a strong pull down in the market, finish and close off around the close at the 12.141 range. And so you see definitely see a rejection here, resistance on the green, and this is the Williams alligator band, the green, red, and blue that I use. And we also see a little bit of the resistance on the EMA as well. So it looks like the market did pull back quite a bit, more than expected. I did expect it to pull down some. We see a couple weeks ago, it kind of did a resistance and a reversal on the 180-day SMA, which is this green line here. And so we see that reversal and pull down. We still see that same continuation last week. And I expect to see a little bit more of that this week as well. We do see it coming down very close to a progression support here. So we'll see if it comes down and supports here or blows past here. I believe if it does blow past here, we'll come back into this kind of danger zone that I marked out. I guess it's been about a month or two ago. Pulled out this band here that is very much a danger zone, and we were in that danger zone back in early July. So we see a potential for that to come back. So let's see this week if it'll support here. And I do think in this week, I do think potential for this stock, for the NASDAQ to be somewhere around the 12,335 to a 12,515. So that's a little bit of a pull up from where it is today as it stands currently from Friday. So I expect maybe tomorrow, maybe a whiplash to kind of cover this manipulation here. See maybe a pullback, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, and Thursday pull up, and Friday another reset, pull back down. So we'll see what the market does this week. Definitely be a lot of volatility Monday and Tuesday specifically, basically just around what happened Friday. So we'll see what happens there. We see the MACD also pulling back down as well. So some of the convergence, divergence, momentum is actually pulling down as well. So it's kind of following the path of least resistance. So that's kind of what we're seeing here. So let's move on to the New York Stock Exchange and see what we're seeing in that chart. So we're going to zoom in here, and very similar. We kind of see this danger zone that the New York Stock Exchange was in a lot of part of July. And again, we see a very close pullback and resistance on the 180-day SMA here as well. And we see we're actually in a stronghold of where the price wants to be. So we're kind of in a better spot in the New York Stock Exchange than we are on the NASDAQ. Again, you see the same strong pullback Friday. Expected to be somewhere around the 15.75 range. And so this one pulled back strong Friday. You see a resistance on the green Williams alligator EMA bar as well. So we'll see if it'll support here on the blue. Also see if it'll support here in this cake range or in this range that is right in the danger zone, this dotted blue line. So anything in here is kind of a danger zone for stock crash, as we've kind of been talking about for most of the year, and then also recessionary concerns here. So again, just something to be aware of this week. I do think there's a lot of opportunities still that presents themselves to us, and so that's where we're going to go to the scans for the week. And so the scans this week, a lot of good stocks. Again, a lot of things are on sale, a lot cheaper than they normally would be. Again, because of what happened Friday and some of last week. So Snapchat comes in this week again as a great opportunity. Called it out last week. Comes in at a trend of a 2, so it's a slight upward trend in the last month. Coming at a true value of $11.22. Let's go to the charts and see what Snapchat shows us. So Snapchat is been on a downswing. So we look at a 1 year, 1 day. You see, it's $83.34. Pretty much this time a year ago, back in September. It's been a strong downtrend since then. You see a lot of manipulation, a lot of volume purchases here. And so the most recent, we see July 22nd, we see 330 million shares. That is a lot of manipulation. That's what I want to call out and point out. And so we see some opportunity here with those. It's that same bar here, just zoomed in. See a lot of manipulation here. This price has been covered. This one has not. And this one was the day before at 116 million shares. So you got a lot of buyers buying in around the $15 range. Called this one out last week. Me and Daz put our best price points in. Actually came pretty close to my price. I think if we look in 5-day, didn't come quite down to my price. Did come down to Daz's price. And you kind of see it riding this slow progression line here, supporting there. Kind of blew through that after hours Friday. And so I would think, for me, I feel real comfortable. I think this might be one of the first times I've done this, but I'm gonna go in with the exact same price point that I did last week. I didn't get in at 1040 last week. I think this week I can get in at 1040 based on what I'm seeing here with the EMA being resisted here, and see what the pullback Friday. We do see the red, and it's kind of hard to see the red and blue here. They haven't fully crossed over. And so they're still in a kind of a flat state, I would say. The price is a little bit better than I would expect at this point. But I do think you can get it at 1040 this week, and that's my price point for Snapchat, with the opportunity to get out around 1187 range to about $13 range, depending on how the market does this week. So 13% at the worst case potentially, and at the best case about 30%. So depends on how investors see this one. Nothing I like about this one, the momentum is starting to pick up a little bit more, and you kind of see the convergence and divergence starting to kind of smooth out. So that's an opportunity for this one to kind of explode, hopefully in the next couple weeks, but we'll see if this one will be a good one for this week. So Snapchat at $10.40 is my call out. Daz, what's your call out for Snapchat this week? Daz, you there? Daz, you there?
Yo, I had it on mute.
All right. What's your call out for Snapchat this week? Daz, you there? Can't hear you, Daz. You still on mute? Oh, dropped off the call. It's even worse. So we'll catch up to him here in a sec. There he is. Back in.
Yo,
All right, I can hear you now.
yeah, I don't know what's going on with this thing, man.
That's all right. It's one of the nights.
Yeah, let's start over. My fault.
No, we're good. We're good. We'll just keep
You
going.
sure?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Well, yeah, I got 1043.
10:43. All right. 10:43 for Snapchat. It's just a little bit higher than me. So it's pretty close though. Pretty close. And so if you got in last week, even at Daz's price, if it comes down some more, just average down. But this one definitely something feel like it can turn around. This week, I believe, is a good potential, and even next week. So, any more thoughts about Snapchat this week, Daz?
This week, no, I just think it's overall undervalued though. I guess, like I said, I said it last week. I think just heavily beat down.
Okay. All right. Next one on the list is Raytheon. So Raytheon, haven't called this one out before. This one popped up on scan again this week as an opportunity. So I scanned pretty much as many stocks as I can. So this one popped up as a good opportunity. Been scanning this one for a little while, and this one actually came out as a good opportunity this week, coming in at a trend of a 2. True value of $94.28 this week. And so let's go to the charts and see what Raytheon shows us. And looking at a 1 year, 1 day, we definitely see how this one moves. And again, this purple lines here are what I call the cake value. So this is the stronghold strength of the price and kind of where the price wants to be. So we see 1 year, 1 day. This one, it's been a very good mover, very strong moving stock. A high of $106, I guess around April 19th of this year. And see a pullback down. This green is the 180-day SMA that I use. It's kind of a trend line. See how it pulls back into that trend line, and basically just kind of bobbing and weaving. Just really attracted to that 180-day SMA. And that's kind of what we want to see. Good opportunity based on some of the progression that we see here going all the way back to June. So looking a little closer, you can see how the price is very rangy on this stock. See in 1 day here, it went 4.8%, quite a bit. Again, right, just this stock is very rangy. You can just kind of see how it's bouncing up and down off of this progression line. I think this week, great opportunity based on Friday. See this again rangy price here. I believe there's an opportunity this week to get in at 91.74. I believe this is going to come back down and capture this bottom here, and then actually pull back up. I think it'll fall a little bit outside of this progression, kind of like it's done here, 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 and here. So I think it'll do the same thing this week. And I think 91.74 is a good price for this stock. Still in the stronghold of where the price wants to be. I do think this price will come back up by Friday to be around 92.90 to 93.96. You can kind of see the green, red, and blue, and the teal all in order. Don't like how this teal is pointing down, so that is a little bit of a concern. But these are all in order, the green, red, and blue, which is a bullish sign. And the MACD does look very nice still at being in this position. So 91.74 is where I'm going in with Raytheon Technologies. That's what you call out for Raytheon this week.
Yeah, I got down 90.05.
90.05. Any thoughts on that price? Why 90.05? It's pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, all I was looking at was the 4-hour chart, and just really good levels. I think like it kept bouncing, some pretty good support there. So I think if you can get at 95, like what it's been doing for the past month going on 2.
Okay.
It's been going around like that price range and going up potentially. Let me see what that is real quick for you.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there.
About 4. 4 to 7%.
Okay. It's like the volume on this one too. Just looking, I haven't looked at the 4-hour chart to just now, but the second half of the day, volume picks up quite a bit more. And then it's not a heavily traded stock in the morning. Looks like. And you see all these are afternoon volumes here, all higher than the morning. So it's something to point out if you're thinking about moving this one on a short-term basis. The volatility just picks up in the afternoons. So, okay. Good stuff. Anything else about Raytheon, Des?
No, not really. I don't have anything.
All right. Moving on down the list a little bit more. Carnival's popped up again on our radar. Long-term play. Trend of a 2, so slight trend up still. This has been kind of a pretty strong move over the last few weeks. We've called this one out while it's been pretty low. A lot of opportunity with Carnival, and we'll go to the charts and show you why. True value of $10.25. So Carnival's coming in 28 cents on sale this week. Great opportunity to still get in while you can. If you've been buying Carnival, it's a great opportunity to continue buying. And then looking at a 1 year, 1 day, just kind of look at how this one really wants to be really in the $1684 range, the $1860 range. And this is kind of where the price wants to be based on the year's worth of data. And so we look at some of the uncovered manipulation here. That's at 2025. You've got, again, I've talked about this before in the past videos, but you've got 68 million shares being purchased at $20.25. And these guys or ladies, these people are holding this price from 2025 and then 2132. So they're sitting on this stock with the opportunity for this one to come back at some point. Also got a lot of uncovered manipulation at 1284. So we've talked about this in previous videos, but this one is a great mover. This one's come down to our price quite a few times in the past couple of weeks. So we haven't missed on it too much. It has started to come back down. We see last 2 weeks a little bit of a pullback, and then we see a pullback up last week, and then Friday we see a little bit of a pullback. We still see the green, the red, and the blue in the right order for a bullish signal. And we also see the teal still ahead of that, slightly wanting to cross that green, so they're really, really close there. MACD still looks a little bit suspect, like it wants to come back down. So I do think there's an opportunity for this one to come back down. With that being said, we look at the market. This one does trade on the New York Stock Exchange. We saw where the New York Stock Exchange may pull down some this week. So I think this one will be a good one to get in at $9.47. By Friday, if you want to get out, I think maybe $10 to $10.81. So not a bad percentage if you're looking at getting out this week, 6 to 13% potential. And I think a lot of it depends on the momentum and how the stock market moves this week. But either way, if you hold this one, if you've been loading up on it, it's still at the bottom of this progression line. So it's supporting this yellow progression line here, which is slightly moving up. So it's still supporting here. I think it'll blow past that a little bit again. I think 947 is where I'm going in this week with Carnival. That's what your call out for Carnival this week.
So for Carnival, I got down 932.
Pretty close. Pretty close. A little bearish on it too, I see.
Yeah, that's being a little conservative. Like I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it went lower than that though. Like it's not. I know you use the simple, but I use exponential, but it's not looking good.
You talking on the MACD? You talking on the MACD?
Yeah, it's not looking good at all.
So yours looks a lot different than mine because you're using exponential, is that right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So yeah, I think. But what's your long-term outlook on Carnival?
Oh, long term, it's a buy now. Personally, buy and just hold because like I said, it's not the industry's not going anywhere. It's if you look at it, I think with the pandemic, it survived that, and hit a low of what, 7? Around 7 and some change, I think.
Talking a couple years ago.
About 2 years ago, yeah.
Yep, $7.80. Yep.
Yeah, look at that. It survived that. So I mean, that's just me personally. I don't see why.
Good point. That's a good point. I'm just waiting for it to cross this SMA, man. And once this thing crosses here, it's gonna be on and popping, as they say.
What time frame you think that might happen? Like after October?
Let's see real quick. Good question. So for me, it looks like we're gonna press this one out. And I would say probably the midpoint here would be a great one to use. It's going to extend that to the right. I think he's going in at this angle. Extend this to the right. So you're looking at potentially somewhere around the Thanksgiving time frame, somewhere around the late November. At this progression. Now, if it falls down, goes bearish for another couple weeks, and I'll definitely push that out to probably December, January. But so at this point in time, this year, it's like it's going to cross. So, all right. Anything else on Carnival?
I can see that. I can see that. No, that's all.
All right. All right, moving on down the list, and we've got Abbvie again came out this week as a pretty good opportunity. This one comes in flat this week, $3.22 on sale, coming in at a true value of $139.57. So Abbvie came in this week as an opportunity. I think I actually bought some Abbvie last week, so we called this one out last week. So looking at 1 year, 1 day, this one has been a pretty nice looking stock. Again, we'd like to see it jump above the SMA and stay above that, but we do know once it goes above the SMA, it naturally wants to come back and magnetically attract to the SMA and come back down. So it's just all about this wave movement that we see here. So this one's been at 175.91 back in April, and again a low of 105.56. So this one's at right in a great price point. It's really what the price wants to be. Again, it's right in the cake range, what I like to call it. And again, we called this one out last week. Bought this one. I can't remember how much I made off this one last week, but caught it really low. I think I bought it Wednesday, sold it Thursday. I just swung traded. This one did pretty good last week for me. Again, I bought it pretty low. I bought it actually below my price point. And so once it came down to this point, I just kind of watched it, wait for it to fall to a comfortable level, and then sold, like I said, the next day. But again, looking at this one, see a lot of manipulation. We mentioned this one last week in last week's video. So we got some uncovered manipulation here. Definitely see some opportunity for this one to still pull back up, even in the midst of what we have been calling probably a potential bearish stock market week. Can't get this one in a good zone for. I get this one in a better zone to see. All right, it's not acting quite right with me. It's just kind of out of the picture, so I'm trying to show you my price point. Here we go, 135.40. So I think this week, again, we see Friday see a strong pullback. It pulls underneath this progression line here, which is definitely a concern. So it's in a strong bearish mode here. I do like what I'm seeing with the MACD a little bit better. I don't think this one is going to fall too much below 135.40. I do think 135.40 is still a really good price. I do think by Friday you get out 138.65, somewhere around the 140 range. If the market does turn around strong Thursday or Friday, so we're looking at 2 to 3.5% roughly in this week. But you definitely want to catch it low. You definitely want to watch this one. You don't want to buy it while it's falling down. do want to catch the momentum as it comes back up. So again, watch this one, pretty strong. I do think 135.40 is a great price point. And this one, I think we called out last week as a long-term play. And so I got it as a short-term trade this week because I'm not liking what I'm seeing here. But I do think long-term, this one is not going anywhere. And we can see where the price has been and where it wants to be. So going in with 135.40 for Abbvie this week. That's what your call out for Abbvie.
For me this week, I got 134.18.
Too far off. 134.18.
Yeah, I dropped the ball last week, man.
Yeah, we both were a little higher than it should have been. And again, Friday is kind of an unexplained exception, right? That we can't do anything about. But I mean, we look at Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, yeah, it did fall below, but it stayed pretty nice. I mean, it came back up to 139.2, came up to 140.85 here. So 134.18, and I'm going with 135.40. Any more thoughts on Abbvie? Yes.
I don't have any on that one.
All right. Moving on to the next one down the list, and ABML, American Battery Technology, is coming in this week. Flat trend for me at a 4 cents on sale at 75 cents true value. Got this one on here as a long-term play. If you haven't seen any of our videos, but we have done a lot of call-outs for ABTC, ABML in this year. And we have some company breakdown videos on ABML. So I'm not going to go through kind of what we think on ABML because there's a lot of information that we put out there about our thoughts about this company. So let's go through what we see this week. So called this one out 2 weeks ago and definitely blew past both of our prices. We see a little bit of a pullback last week around Wednesday and see a little bit of resistance on the green. So one of the things that definitely want to be careful of is this one is not showing any strength to keep going up necessarily at this point. We do know this one does trade on the OTC market, so it's not on the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange. But this one will come back down, I do believe, this week. I think 67 cents is a great price point for it. It seems to be hitting that mark quite a bit in the past recent months. And so I think that, and then with this showing as a resistance. So if you get in at 67 cents, even in this week, 73 to 74 cents, that's 9%. If you want to get out, best case is maybe 79 cents at 19%. So I think this one's, again, long-term play. 67 cents is a good price point. This one's kind of been dodging our price points a little bit lately, but I think we might be on the money this week. At least for me, I think 67 cents is a good price point. That's what you call out this week for ABML.
I think for me, like, ideally, I would like to see it at like 60 cents for me. That's really bearish though, but
okay.
Probably won't go that low, but that's ideal.
Yeah, so that's about right around. So that's the support that I've got on here, 63.9, which is almost 64 cents. So you're talking about below that. Okay, I got you.
Right. I mean, honestly, like I said before, this is honestly about where it's at now, though. Honestly, long-term wise.
Yeah. I think I was looking at the kind of the point of breakout when you look at convergence, divergence. So this one is at a point where it wants to get real close to breaking out. We see the MACD start to move up. We see the price point coming down. So that's the divergent is what that means. And then once these get on track together, that point of crossing is called the convergent. So that's where that price and this MACD will get on track, and we'll see a lot of times that's when a breakout happens. So this one like is hitting pretty close to that point. Of course, that point is unpredictable, but I think this week we'll be okay getting in. I think if you want to get in with ABML, it's a good time to get in with them before price definitely gets too high. Any more thoughts on ABML this week, Des?
No, I got no thoughts on that one this week.
All right. Next on the list is Meta. Meta comes in at a flat trend, $6.79 on sale at a $168.57 true valuation point. So let's look at the charts for Meta, and Meta has been on our radar as well for the last couple of weeks. This one really, without being said, I'm not going to go through all the things we've talked about on this one for the last few videos, but definitely there's a lot of potential for this one long term. A lot of this depends on, we'll get into the politics side of this, but a lot of this depends on how the owner of the company wants to, progress, some of the agendas that they're working on. So I will say this one has been on a slow regression for a while. We do see last week, this one pulled back again Friday, showed resistance on the green EMA, but it is showing a little bit of support on the progression. So that's pretty good as far as in a way to predict which way the stock may be going. And so if we say this one's going to ride this progression and then of course move up an opportunity, we do see the red, blue and red and green all more in a bearish state. So this is out of order for bullish. So this is in order for bearish. And so this one rides this green down, rides this yellow down. I expect 158.07 is a great price point with the opportunity for this one to come back up. Again, resist on the green. And you can get out 163.13 to 169.27 if you want to get out this week. And that would make you anywhere between 3 to 7%. But definitely long term, there's a lot of opportunity for this one. So I say 158.07 is a great price point for me. That's feel pretty comfortable going in this week with that. What's your call out for Meta this week?
I got down 155.29.
Ooh. 155. Okay.
Yeah.
29. You said 155.29?
Yeah, 155.29.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm low.
Yes, that's pretty low. But if it comes down that low, I mean, that's really good. I mean, this thing has been it came down, touched down the price point for me quite a few weeks ago, and definitely turned around pretty quickly. So if it comes down to 155, I would expect it to turn around pretty quick in about 5 days, 4 to 5 days, but that's at 9%, 10%, and 6 days, 13%. So yeah, I think it can turn around pretty quick if it comes down that low. So all right. Anything else on Meta this week, Daz?
No, not on Meta.
All right, scanning on down the list, and last but not least, and this is a little bit of kind of a wild card this week, and I'll show you why when I look at the charts. This one is trending at a -4, so it's a pretty strong downtrend. 67 cents on sale, coming in a true valuation of a $13.83 price point. I'll show you why I'm pulling this one out this week. Let's see. And I don't have Warner Brothers pulled up for some reason. Pull it up. So Warner Brothers this week, looking at the charts. Add this to my favorites. So look at 1 year, 1 day. So I haven't analyzed this one before, haven't called this one out. Actually, we called this one out, Daz, if you can remember, before Warner Brothers bought out Discovery Channel. We had called Discovery out a couple of times, I believe. So this company has been buying out a lot of television channels. They pretty much own big percentage of cable networks, and so I think you got CNN, you've got TNT, TBS, TLC. I mean, I think it's like Motor Trend Channel. I mean, you got tons of of channels that's out there for you to watch. But anyway, nonetheless, this one's been pretty strong. You see a strong drop down. I want to say April 13th. We see a lot of manipulation in the stock. I'm not sure if that's when the merger happened. I can't remember exactly when the merger happened, but I'm guessing it happened somewhere in this time frame. And we see the earnings calls look pretty decent then at that point in time. And then we see the earnings call here recently of August 4th. They lost $1.50 per share versus right under a penny on their estimate. So we see a lot of manipulation happen the day after that. So we're looking at on the day after the earnings call, 67 million shares, buying around the anywhere from the $15.15 to $14.42 range. There's some uncovered manipulation in the stock. So I think there's some opportunity there. We just had a recent low of $12.69 on August 22nd. So with all that being said, yeah, this one's moving in a downtrend, but I do see some opportunities here looking at the MACD, potential of a crossover here, potential crossover here. I do see a little resistance on the red, which is a little concerning. So I do think you can get in a little cheaper than where it is now. I do see an opportunity here of some uncovered manipulation that could happen this week or next week. And so I think Warner Brothers will maybe a good one, even if you don't get out this week positively, even holding this one, possibly averaging down will be still a great opportunity. Again, we see a lot of purchases around the $16 range as well. We do see the cake band being in the $21 to $23 range. It is still far away from the simple moving average. So a lot of opportunity for this one to grow. If you look at the distance between here and here, and here and here, and here and here. And so going in this week, I feel real confident with 1278 is my price point for Warner Brothers Discovery this week. Dash, what's your call out for Warner Brothers Discovery?
So I got down $12.99.
Man, it's close. Real close. $12.99 it is. Any thoughts on this company? We hadn't called this one out before. Again, we called it out when it was just Discovery, but since the merger, we haven't called this one out.
I wouldn't say really any thoughts, but I do know, like I said, I remember when I saw it, I was like, yeah, I remember doing this one.
Yeah, I think they own HBO as well. So,
oh wow, okay.
You got the Game of Thrones series thing that hit all kind of record numbers. So you got the record debut happening last week. So a lot of good opportunity for this one. I'm not a TV watcher, I'm not a cable television viewer, but for those that do watch cable, I would say you're probably watching one of the channels that Warner Brother owns, so or movies for that matter, right? So all right. So that's it for the plays of the week, man. You got anything else you'd like to talk about, bring to the table?
Yeah, just real quick, briefly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not supposed to, I guess, say my positions and stuff or my views, however, but I would definitely say be mindful of the market this week after the news of the pretty much a lot of the senators and everybody's worried pretty much about the Fed bringing a recession pretty much now, and Chairman Powell's speech last week, that really influenced the market. So this week for him, I'm just gonna watch because I think it's gonna be pretty bad, personally.
It's a good point. That's a good point you brought up. So that announcement was it Friday that he spoke?
Yeah, it was. I think it was Friday, right? Yeah, Friday.
Okay. And so
Pretty
I guess there's still some more information supposed to come out this week, right? I believe.
I think so. I just know after he said that, man, the Dow dropped 1,000 points. So I mean, that's terrible. Like,
Yeah,
and
and so
you look too, like even the cryptocurrency markets, man. Bitcoin is trading right now around like 19K.
So let's look at that. That's what we got some extra time here. Again, we're done with the plays of the week. We're just doing some bonus coverage here. So a couple of things I like to watch. I don't really share this week over week with the viewers, but the US dollar is something I always look at regularly. And really this is US dollar with the Swiss franc. So it's, there's all other kind of currency conversions, but this one has always been one that I've heard of as the most used or most likely price point for the value of the dollar. And we see the dollar actually come into actually being a dollar, which is very unusual within the last few years. So let's go back 3 years, and we see that it was a dollar, right, back in 2019, and ever since then it's been dropping quite heavily. So if you think about, you mentioned cryptocurrency, think about when cryptocurrency was really making a lot of money, right? When it was starting to really go up in valuation, was around the time when the dollar was trash, right? The dollar came down to 87 cents. So if you think about that, you know, it takes $2 to buy something that's really a dollar, right? Because at this point, it's less than a dollar. And so that's just the amount of money that's been flooded, the US Treasury has put into to capitalize off of the loss of the dollar. So with that happening, then you see coming along, we see the government and we see banks taking cryptocurrency as something they want to use, right? So during this time, they were all about no cryptocurrency. It's a scam, blah blah blah, right? And then you see, hey, Bitcoin, Ethereum, everything was just booming right in this time. And look at where the dollar was. But then when they said, hey, we like Bitcoin, we like cryptocurrency because what we think the future may hold for them, boom, it starts to change back, right? And see, now we see the dollar starting to gain some traction, and we see cryptocurrency starting to really kind of come down and kind of, I wouldn't say settle, so to speak, but kind of come down and be a little bit more on par with the market. And so now we see the dollar start to gain a lot more power than we've seen in the last, 2 years. And so that's something that's very interesting. And we mentioned Bitcoin coming down. A lot of that has something to do with the value of the dollar. And that's just my, I'm no conspiracy theorist. I'm just what I'm noticing. And I'm just a chart technical guy, right? I'm just looking at technical stuff, right? And so that's what I would say on cryptocurrency is one of the things to watch is how the dollar bill is valued. So we look at where it's at. It's moving. This very moment, right? It's down to 96.8 at this point in time. So again, it's still less than a dollar, but still moving either way. Another thing I like to look at is oil prices, right? And so we look at, oh, I'm sorry, this is not oil. This is oil prices. Look at crude oil, and we see oil going up as well. And just think about how where the virus was started. We think about where the war was started, and we see how much oil has taken off since the war started, right? It's just crazy, right? And so these things are not necessarily not necessarily tied together, but they are. and you just kind of look at the charts and see what's going on in the world, and you see how all this ties together. And oil prices are outrageous, and we see how the dollar's going up, oil's going up. Man, it just sparks all kind of concerns of recession, right? Any thoughts on that, Daz?
Not necessarily on that, but I'm gonna have to look at that often too, especially what you said about the US dollar. I'm gonna definitely dive into that a little bit more. Didn't know that.
And then we look at the gold prices, man. Look at gold. So the dollar's going up and gold's going down. Look at that. Gold's going down. And it's in a steep downtrend right now.
I'm gonna say, yeah, that's heavy.
It is heavy. And of course the gold's not tied to
But
the dollar.
that's your true value right there, right?
This is the cake band. So this is the lower.
Cake. Okay.
Yeah, this is the lower resistance band of where the price wants to be. So it's showing a little support there. But I mean, you see the trend line here, the SMA, it's kind of flat. But yeah, so gold price is going down, dollars going up, and that's not really what we want to see. I mean, we do love the dollar, right, in America, but there's a lot of concerns with the dollar. And you know, when we throw money into the market and we pump prices so much that we can't keep up with it, it's just a recipe for disaster. So gold's going to get more affordable, right? It's going to get more affordable, which is good for those who like that commodity. Very good for those. So, looking at Bitcoin real quick, you did mention Bitcoin, so let's show it real quick. Where is it here? And so, definitely see this one not looking very good at all. Definitely strong bullish signs, definitely coming down. I'm sorry, bearish signs. Don't really see any support here. Maybe around the 19.6. Is that where it's at now, Daz? Is that what you said it was?
Yeah, last time I looked at it, it was trading at like 19,600. I'll pull it up real quick.
Okay.
It's up a little bit now, 19,750, pretty much around that.
Okay, so
but it's still, still down though.
Yeah, support to me looks like 19,600, somewhere around that range. That's about the best I can call it on that. And this is, again, we're in a new territory when we're talking about cryptocurrency, right? So this is not something we've got a lot of history on it, but not in the terms of people adopting and accepting it, right? So, we're pretty new to what the market wants to say about cryptocurrency. It has been around for a while, but as far as what the world and adoption of cryptocurrency, we're fairly new. So it's not a lot of data to look at from the standpoint of how the market is going to deal with cryptocurrency. So it's still a lot of unknowns when it comes to trying to analyze the data, because it's just not enough data out there to show where it wants to be, where it's going. So it's a lot of ballpark guessing, and it's not just us doing that. Even the professionals don't know where this is going. Ethereum, same thing. You see a lot of pullback here. Excuse all my mess here with all the lines here, but definitely see this crossing over the blue, which is not good at all. Look at that. This teal crossed over the blue, green, and red. Haven't fully crossed over, but they do. Definitely not looking good. Support here for me looks like around low 1,400 range, 1,420, which is kind of where it's almost at now. So yeah, I would say yeah, a lot to come for cryptocurrency. Again, I would always recommend, or advise looking at the value of the dollar when kind of measuring where cryptocurrency wants to be. They will tie together at some point. Anything else, Dad?
That's all I got. I was just going to add on with the crypto. It's hard to follow crypto, man. I think it can be down like it is now, but tomorrow or Wednesday it could shoot up 30%. So it's
Yeah,
one of those
man.
things, kind of like, man, I honestly can't even really tell you a good entry.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun. I think you got the only comparison you probably have to what we're seeing with cryptocurrency is probably what you normally see with penny stocks when it comes to volatility. The only thing is now you just got so many people watching it, right? You don't have that type of sentiment with penny stocks. They're kind of like here and there. They're like a ghost, right? They're gone for years, and they come back and start haunting everybody, right? That's how penny stocks operate. They're like ghosts, man. But this I would say this one doesn't go away like penny stocks does from a sentiment standpoint. But the volatility is where I'm getting with the similarities. And so yeah, I would expect this one to drop 20%, 30% in a matter of weeks, and then explode to 50, 60% in another month or so. So a lot can happen in a short period of time. I've been trading Ethereum for 2 years strong. I guess 2-3 years. I was trading was around $200. I used to make a killing off of it just on the weekends. That's when it was like a weekend stock. Like you could almost guarantee it was gonna go up every weekend. And so it was fun. It's fun now. I mean, even though I'm in a hole in it, but I'm holding it. So but I've made enough money off of it. I'm good. I'm good for a while. But yeah, I think cryptocurrency is gonna get even more difficult to read. I think it's gonna get even more difficult because you got so many hands in the pot versus back when I was first starting to trade it. There wasn't that many hands in the pot. You had your regular cryptocurrency traders and just they pumped it every weekend and everybody was making money. Now you got the banks involved, you got the government involved, and so it can get messy, man. It can get messy. So too many hands in the pot. That's my opinion. All right, good stuff, man. I'm glad you brought that up to talk about. Like I said, we really don't talk about much more than the plays of the week, but it's good to talk about other things because it's a big market, man. It's not just companies out here that's changing things or making things manipulated in the market. You got we just looked at gold and oil and the US dollar, man. You got other commodities out there from silver to you got all your agricultural stocks, your food. We ain't even talked about food. I don't even think, have we called out a food stock at all this year? I can't even think of a food stock that we called out. Maybe Kellogg's.
Did you call out Beyond?
What's that?
No, I don't think we called out Beyond.
I think Kellogg's might be the only one we called out food stock. But think about that market, right? All the food, man, prices of food have gone crazy. So, just think about how much manipulation has happened just on that spectrum, right? And all that goes back into the pot of, the market as a whole. So it's a lot going on behind the scenes that a lot of people just not aware of. But yeah, I don't think we've called that much. I scan food stocks. I'm trying to think. What food stocks did I scan this week? I saw McDonald's. Let's see. Starbucks.
You said you called out McDonald's?
No. I scanned McDonald's. I scanned it.
Oh, I was
No,
about to say, like, I don't remember that one. Okay,
no.
okay.
I'm just looking at which ones I even scanned this week because I scan food stocks regularly. Again, um, haven't been great to call out. Kellogg's, it's been one we called out a couple times early on this year. One thing about Kellogg's, man, Kellogg's is a stock you wouldn't think is a strong stock, but that's a freaking strong stock, man. It's a hard to find a price point on that one because it stays bullish most of the times. See, I know I called out some. I mean, not called out, but I know I scanned some more food stocks on here. I did see McDonald's a few minutes ago. That's it. I scanned more. I thought I scanned more than that this week as far as food stocks. But yeah, um, yeah, food stocks are also being highly manipulated. So anyway, I just kind of want to throw that into the pot too. That hey, it's so much going on. We're looking at a lot of stocks we're looking at are pretty much tech stocks for the most part. But there's wide ranges of spectrum of things that are being manipulated at this point. So, and we haven't talked much about the retail market either, because as the dollar goes
Yeah,
up,
that is
those
true.
prices go up too. So, yeah.
Hmm.
So yes, it's a crazy time right now. But I would advise everyone. I know we're at the end of the video, but I advise anyone, man, just do your research as much as you can. I mean, we're just two individuals on YouTube that are, you know, trying to help everyone out. But do your research. There's so much out there. I know everyone's probably busy with their lives and don't have time to dig in a lot on stocks, but you know, stick with. I always say, rule of thumb for me: stick with companies that have been around for a while, especially in these times. Try to get in with kind of unproven companies or companies that are new. Um, you're just running a lot of risk. So, stick with the name brand stuff. You can't go wrong, especially when you're thinking long term. When the market does turn back around, those companies will still be here. And so that's just a little bit of advice. And I'm no financial advisor, as I said at the beginning of the video, but I've been doing this long enough to know that Nike, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, those companies not going anywhere. They're just not. So, all right, man. Man, a little bit more extension on the video than we normally do, but I think it was good information. So, Daz, I appreciate you
Yeah,
joining me.
definitely. Oh,
Yeah,
no problem. Too. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you joining me, man. You always, like I always tell you, man, you keep pushing me. Make sure you hold me accountable. Make sure I'm not putting some wild prices out there.
Holding each other accountable, man.
And so, yeah, we'll continue to again try to provide the best information we can. Stay tuned for some more company breakdown videos. Stay tuned for some more tips and tricks. Again, still working on some of those, and some stock market crash myth and mysteries videos. And so we also need to do another myth and mysteries to ask at some point. We need to talk about some other ideas out there. So
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good.
and so again, I appreciate you guys joining us, and thanks for the new subscribers. Keep sharing and subscribing, and sharing for others to subscribe. Appreciate that, and like the videos if you can. Please add some comments too. Give us some feedback. And, we can only get better based on what the audience wants to hear. If there's some stocks that you would like to see scanned or evaluated, please add those. We'll add those to the call outs and give you the best prices. So again, I thank everyone for joining us, and have a good trading week. Thank you.